JoJo's Part 2, Battle Tendency, is great. My favorite part, along with Part 3. But this is how Battle Tendency could have been better. I feel like everything they did almost was all very good, but the first thing I think that matters the most and kind of stops the part from potentially being as good as it could be is how short the part is. It's only like 17 episodes. Now, it's longer than part 1, but I feel like from the time we got introduced from Caesar during episode 14 and then him dying in episode 20, we could have seen him a lot more. So they could have made more episodes, maybe another 2 or 3 during that time where we got to see more of Caesar, and just made the part longer. Let us see more of their training, let us see them go up against other vampires more, and then later, more towards the end of the part, made Joseph and Lisa have to fight more vampires before they fought Wamuu and Kars. So yeah, I feel like the part should have definitely been a little bit longer, and I really like the whole part, but it kind of sucks that it was so short because I would have liked to see more of the part. And I feel like it potentially would allow them to do more and make the part better. After this, the next problem I have with the part, or not necessarily problem, but thing I think they could do better, is ECDC. He died too fast in my opinion. We didn't get to see that much of him, and they just didn't make him seem that powerful, especially in comparison to the other Pillarmen. So if they had another, let's say 2 episodes before the episode where ECDC dies, that could have been fine. But that was not the case. I feel like they should have made ECDC even more powerful. I feel like they should have made it seem like he had more control with what was going on with Joseph. Like how during the time Kars or Wamuu were fighting Joseph, it felt like they were in control. Or at even times Kars, it felt like was playing with Joseph. So I feel like they should have did that more with ECDC, because even though you knew he was more powerful and he was probably out of Joseph's league, it also kind of seemed like he was not as strong as you expected him to be, and that it's weird to the extent that Joseph was able to hold his own, and that it seemed like ECDC couldn't really do all that much. And I thought they should have also just went more in depth on ECDC like they did with the other 2 Pillarmen. So him being alive a little bit longer would have been nice, because people tend to always like Wamuu and Kars more, and one of the reasons is because they're just more in-depth characters, and since ECDC died so fast, I feel like they could have gave specifically Kars and ECDC a little bit more personality, instead of ECDC just listening to Kars and Kars having his goal and doing whatever he wants, trying to get the red stone as his main focus. Like, let us see some other things they like, or some more of their habits, their beliefs, like how we saw with Wamuu. And another thing, I feel there is not enough side villains. Like I mentioned earlier, how they could make the part longer by making them fight more vampires. Yes, I believe there is not enough vampires, just side villains that they went up against. And I feel like they could have definitely made some more cool side villains for them to go up against, and some good moments with some other vampires. Now I want to get into Caesar again. So I want him to be in more of the part, and I would want to see him more with Joseph, like how we saw the other Joe Bros in their parts with the other main characters so much longer, going through way more experiences and getting to see more of the individual's personality, abilities, and things like that. Yeah, but I would just say that this part mostly just suffered from how short it was. But the only thing I would say that could have been better, that isn't really affected by how short the part is at all, is the final fight with Kars. In my opinion, it could have been better. Moments during the fight where Kars gets his wings and becomes Ultimate Kars, wakes up, that part's great. Or the part where he's flying after Joseph in a airplane and crashes into a volcano is also great. But I feel like the part before Kars became Ultimate Kars was a little bit too silly. I feel like Kars should have been portrayed as a little bit more dangerous and terrifying. during that time. And then again at the end, when they're at the volcano and Karst manages to survive, the way Joseph just gets kind of lucky and Karst goes into outer space and then just gets stuck there forever. I guess it's fine, but I don't know. I'm not really fully satisfied with it. I still feel like it could be better. I wish Karst would end up coming back in a future JoJo's part. But from the way they made it look, it seems he's not going to come back, which makes me a little disappointed. Also, I would want to see more of the Pillarmen in part 2, specifically ECDC, but I would just like to see more of the Pillarmen and more of the Pillarmen just doing whatever they wanted since they were so powerful, or more of all of their backstory and of how they just used to be regular vampires, how they were before they were the Pillarmen, because we got to see some of that, but it would have been nice to see more. With how great the Pillarmen are as villains and how great Karst is as a villain and as powerful as he is, I just feel he could be used a lot more. And I don't know, I feel like during that last fight, they could have made Joseph somehow get away, and then we could have seen Karst angry about it or something, and then have that final fight where they were on the volcano at another time. And that's when we get to see more of the backstory, or just Karst showing off his new power. But also during this time, seeing things that Karst does that is very smart, because he's supposed to be 400 IQ, and we didn't really see anything that seemed to indicate he was that smart, so it would have been nice to see more intelligent things from him. Otherwise, I think JoJo's Part 2, Battle Tendency, is a great part. It's pretty much my favorite part, along with Part 3, like I said before. There's so many good things about it, but I just feel that it could have been a little better in these aspects. And I'm not saying the Pillarmen aren't good. I'm not saying the part sucks because it's short. No, the part's still really good, and the Pillarmen are really good, and Karst is really good, but I feel like they could have done them a little bit better. And just because of how good the part was, I would want more in a lot of ways from the part, and just to see more of the part more in depth. This part's definitely not perfect, but in my opinion, it's very good. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Is JoJo's Part 2, Battle Tendency, your favorite part? Or is it at least one of your favorite parts? Do you agree with me? What are some ways you feel that Part 2 could have been better? And would you have liked if Part 2 was a little bit longer? I'll see you in the next video.